It's totally different. It's totally amazing. I'm blown away. Is that just so pretty? So happy. This is just as pretty a boat as we've seen, and unusual and different. This is primo. Isn't that fun? Look at that. It's like this boat has been sitting in a museum practically. This is a winner. This is Captain Q and my old sailing buddy Randy. Join us as we travel hither and yon as we look for some great deals on classic boats and learn a little with each one.
Hey, Captain.
Hey, Randy. How are you, buddy?
Why you don't sound happy?
I'm very happy. I'm really happy, and
Well, let me hear that one more time enthusiastically.
I'm really happy.
There we go.
I'm really happy. Because even though it's overcast and gray and cloudy, we found another great boat that I think you are really going to like. Today I want to tell you about a couple guys back in 1963 named Handy and Jelkin, who decided they wanted to start a boat business. So they're out in California, and this is back in the days when people were starting boat businesses left, right, and center. They did really well for about 2 years and then went flat bankrupt. Same story, boat builders, up and down, up and down. Edmund and Waltman came by and said, we'll buy it from you, and they bought it in 1965. And about the same time, they brought on board a designer named Bruce King. The really neat thing about Bruce is a man after my own heart, frankly, because as opposed to, say, Louis Sullivan, the architect from the early 20th century, who came up with the phrase, form follows function, King was a little bit opposite that, and he really felt that a beautiful boat was going to be a perfectly functioning boat. So it was his eye that drew the boats and said, this is what I want the boat to look like, and I know it's going to be a great boat. And he did that with a number of Ericsons, a few Islander yachts, but he also tripped off a little bit and did some really fun boats, two in particular. One was called an Independence 31, and then the Ericson C36, the C standing for cruising. And these boats were not an attempt to look like some classic cute old boat. They just had some fun lines to them, and I think you're really going to like what we're going to take a look at today. It's totally different. It's totally amazing, the amount of room in it, and I'm blown away.
So if it's a Bruce King, but it's a cruising boat, so are we talking fast cruising?
Oh yeah. It has a fin keel. It has an outboard rudder with a skeg attachment to it, and she's going to fly. All of his boats were fast, but they were also pretty. No matter what, you were always going to turn around in your dinghy as you rode ashore and look at it and say, "What a beautiful boat."
All right, so can we take a look?
Yeah, come on down this way.
Right.
Come on. Randy, what do you think about this bow?
Oh, you were not kidding. This has got some style.
Is that just so pretty?
Yeah.
It's a very tough line too, to draw that perfect line to come down in the cutwater. And no need for a little bowsprit of sorts. I know that makes you sad. And the trail boards that are molded into the hull are really pretty.
Oh yeah.
Aren't they? Just sort of understated. I'd like a little color in them. I suggested to the owner maybe come out and touch them up with a little gold leaf.
Good idea.
She has a wonderful rail cap here, teak, and a rub rail that's also teak as well.
I see a little hole right above this rub strake here. What's that?
Oh, that's just a simple drain. If you notice, the cockpit, the forward cockpit almost, has the ability to catch water. All the non-skid has just been repainted in the last few years, and it's in terrific shape.
Is that molded or is it painted on?
Well, the color's not molded on. The non-skid is molded in.
Okay.
But the paint is just painted over. You know what we're going to find when we're inside, right? How nice it's going to be to have these port lights right off of, Wolf Larson's ship.
These little stainless guards are really tasteful too.
Good touch for your lifelines. Exactly. That's just gonna. This guy's getting a little tired. This may be her last week of fending off, but that's about it. Same thing here. I'm going to adjust this one slightly. Now, we've talked about lifelines before. These are the coated ones, and we're seeing a split in the plastic, right?
Yep.
So it's time. Underneath, she's cut away forward. Her lines forward are full, so she's going to be a nice musher. She's heavy. She comes in at about 17,000 pounds with about 8,000 pounds of lead. Then it comes back and comes up, and then there's a space, and then we have the skeg in front of the rudder, which is on the transom of the boat. This is just as pretty a boat as we've seen, and unusual and different. She's in marvelous shape. The teak was all redone in the last couple of years. The decks have been painted. The sails are in good shape. The Genoa is the oldest sail, and that's pretty old, but the staysail and the main are within the last 3 or 4 years. So this boat is ready to push off and go to sea. I think we better take a look at this a little more. What do you say?
Yeah, let's jump on board.
We love the subscribers.
Yeah, more subscribers means that we're going to get recommended to more people, and so that helps spread the love and spread the word about old classic boats and what we're doing, so every little bit helps.
Thanks again. Hey, Randy.
Yeah.
Come on aboard, buddy.
Oh, thanks.
And get ready for this. Get ready for this.
Wow.
This is primo #1 cockpit of any boats we've seen so far. Any boats. I'm even talking about the 78-foot Alden.
Yeah.
That was nice, but this is nicer. You know why? Every seat here is a lounge seat. First of all, you could seat, I don't know, 14 people in here. And the back of the combing here, which forms part of the deck structure, is at about a 30-degree rake, so I'm just sitting on my couch at home right now. Let's start with the wheel, the most prominent thing here. We have a good old sort of John Alden style wheel that is connected to an outboard rudder. And on top of the rudder, there's a metal piece right here that is for a
Emergency tiller.
This has an interesting drive system back here. This, I believe, is a Yacht Specialties system, which was back then.
Oh, did we see this on that Mariner, that really pretty Mariner 40?
Yes, yeah.
In Harpswell?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
But the same company, that is.
Yeah.
But there's your quadrant down there, and it's hooked up right to the back of the front of the rudder. See how that works?
I see some surface rust on the cable right there, actually. So.
Well, I'm also seeing a slight bit of rubbing down here.
Yeah.
Right down here. And when I turn it, you see, it wants to rub on that. It's barely touching it.
Yeah.
But after a little while, that might not be such a good thing. I will say this, John Alden liked this arrangement. If it's good enough for John, good enough for me. This is a bit unusual. The owner devised this. This is his propane tank, and it's kind of an interesting feature. I think I'm going to work on that a lot. Probably put in a proper propane tank.
Yeah,
this is just a plastic case. So he's put the tank in,
okay.
And it's really not properly vented, but nice size, clean, deep locker, right?
Yep.
Take care of that tank and you're going to be all set. 2 fills here for the 2 diesel fuel tanks, 20 and 30 gallon tanks. And there's space here for a cowl vent to give you a little ventilation down into that, that area right now. We'll come over to the other side. Easily enough to move around this cockpit, isn't it? And look at, he's got just a little battery charger he puts out at, I was gonna say puts out at night, but puts out for, you know, while the boat's sitting on a mooring. And we got your ab builder right here, Randy.
That's more of a bicep builder.
You think that's a bicep builder? Okay.
Hans will show you the proper way to lift the weight. Now pay attention.
Okay. Here's a looks like a plug for your 220. Let's just check that out. Yep. So everybody in the cockpit is thirsty. What do? You open up the icebox here.
Oh, yeah.
And I don't think we've seen that before, really, exactly like this, have we?
No.
Beautiful old Danforth compass Constellation. This is the cream of the crop back in the day.
So how do you run this throttle and
well, it's funny you should ask, because we have your gearbox here, forward and reverse. You push it up here and it's going to go in reverse.
Yeah.
And on this side we have the throttle.
So how do you do it when you're steering?
Well, let's see. If I'm standing here and I'm steering, you just do it. Why do you do this to me?
I don't know. I was curious how it operates.
It is a little tricky, but a lot of times you will end up steering the boat like this. This is not, and I'm not being funny, I'm seriously, you can easily steer the boat like so and give it the controls, but you're not using, this is not like driving a car. Now, below here, we have the engine instrumentation, and behind that, you can't see it from there, but maybe I can open this up. There's a little storage place here for get to the electrical controls for the engine. But isn't this it's like a ballroom?
Yeah.
It's like a sitting ballroom.
And the wood tow rail is really lovely.
We have the teak tow rail all around, handsome cleats fore and aft, and some couple of Berry and self-tailing winches on either side. And another great place on some of these boats, and we find this on, let me just tighten that up, like on the Rhodes Reliant and so forth. Remember the one we looked at?
I do, yeah, the off-center cabin. Yeah,
with the offset cabin. That's a nice place to just sit right in there. No matter which way the boat heels, you're glued in between these two parts of the cabin. It's the very best we've seen after 110 other cockpits. So, what do you say? You come up forward and take a look around with me, okay?
Yeah, let's do it.
I'm way up here at the longest 36 footer I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, you love the pointy end, don't you?
Look at this. I mean, this is another whole neat area, this recessed section forward of the flush deck cabin. Got a couple drain holes.
Yeah.
So you've got a roller furling staysail with its own staysail boom. So, and that's on its own staysail traveler right here. And there's a 25-pound CQR just nestled up on the simple bowsprit. We have a sort of an antique free-fall windlass that the owners found. And what that means is that you put the handle in here and you take the load off the chain, and there's a little handle down there you flick, and then you just let it fly. You can see we got two Dorade boxes with the PVC vents on them.
This flush deck is pretty neat.
The flush deck is great. I mean, you could have a sunbathing contest up here, right?
Yeah.
All the lines are led back to the cockpit, so again, you don't really have to come up here. The roller furlers and the staysail sheet right here is the green line. This is right here, and then goes forward, then runs aft.
Yeah.
All on Schaefer shivs and everything. It's pretty wet here. Let's see if I want to take a quick peek. Wow. Look at the halyards, beautifully hung up. This is just, we don't see people doing this sort of thing.
And that sail is flaked really nicely.
Yeah, really nicely. There's a couple of big winches down here for the Genoa and the main halyard. We found this again suddenly, without seeing it at all, the Dutchman system. And what this does, it's hooked, we've seen this before just recently, hooked up to its own topping lift on the end of the boom. And when you're ready to drop the sail, you let it go, and it works just like a
Roman shade.
Yes, a Roman shade.
Yeah.
She does have a 12-foot beam, and if you turn around, you'll notice where how the jib leads come inside on this boat.
Inside the lifelines, you mean?
Inside everything, yeah. So here's the lead for your Jenny, and if it was way out there on the rail, you'd be way outside your 7 or 6 or 8 degree line, wouldn't you?
Yeah. So you bring it inside the shrouds?
In the old day,
yeah,
you would have a deck sweeping Genoa, which meant that the whole foot of the sail went right along the edge of the deck, right?
Yeah.
So in that case, you'd come up here and whoop, flop it inside. This is a very tall rig here. She's 38 feet on the hoist, on the P measurement, and 10 feet on the E, which is the boom length. So that's almost what's the ratio? 4 to 1 almost. This is more of a racing rig with a great big fore triangle, J dimension of 16 feet, which means that there is a spinnaker pole that comes with the boat, and you can hoist that out and wing out that giant Jenny and go like blazes downwind. I think it's pretty terrific. What do you say we go below right now?
Yeah.
Let me show you something really special.
I want to see this pretty badly.
Oh, Randy.
Hey.
Come on down, buddy.
Oh, this is cozy.
I am so cozy in here, and this is a great kind of day to look at a boat like this. When it does rain outside, it's the nicest place to be in the world. We have 2 settees here. They don't do anything extraordinary, though the owner has set this port side up so that he can put a board in here and make this into a little bit of a double on this side.
Okay.
And behind the cushions, of course, we got, careful there, Sea Dog. We've got just basic storage here. Bruce King believes in the aesthetics of a boat. He feels that the aesthetics last forever, technology is fleeting, and that's his kind of mindset. So you've seen the pretty lines on the boat outside. Inside, he carries the aesthetics even further. And we've got a nice big, lift-up leaf here, and that would accommodate a couple of people, 3 people on that side almost. And there's one that goes on the other side, but I think he has that in storage. Look at the knees for the standing rigging on these things. These are all metal, and they're I'm presuming aluminum or steel. They're massive, aren't they?
Yeah.
Some storage racks behind it. Not what we've used to seeing, where we have massive amounts of closed-in storage. And I love the oval port lights in the hull. Isn't that fun? The ceilings are nicely varnished teak slats. We like that a lot. It's just always handsome. And it's a finished product. The whole boat's finished. And the headliner is fabric in this case. And again, the headliner is, 47 years old, along with the rest of the boat.
Is that those little Naga beasts?
This is the beast, the hide of the Naga beast, yes, right, exactly. By the way, I'm holding onto a nice handrail right here. He knows where to put them on a boat. And I've got one on this side too, so I can work my way anywhere I want to in the boat. Our galley here today is a little different, and the present owner has made some modifications to it. She used to have a 2-burner gimbal stove and oven, and he just decided he didn't need it. There's little storage areas behind here. Again, 36-foot boat, you don't need 100,000 square feet of storage, do you? And over here we have our silverware drawers, 2 big double sinks, about as close to the center line as you can get, and they're deep. She has pressure water. She does have hot water capability on the boat, but interestingly enough, the owners never used the hot water. So here is the ice box, and this is just an ice box again, but look at the size of that. Pretty big, huh? And obviously gentleman of good taste. He's a 2-burner propane stove right here.
No oven, eh?
No oven, nope. But he does have a microwave. Now underneath this is a little bit a different sort of thinking, and anyway, we're gonna see a fuel tank.
Oh.
Now, why is that there, do you suppose? You'll never guess in a million years.
No, I was going to say, yeah, that's...
First of all, it's diesel fuel, and it runs right to the engine, which is all about 3 feet away from it. But it's only 5 gallons, and he just doesn't use diesel fuel. He uses about 3 cups to get out of his dock, hoist the sail, and go sailing. So, she will carry, in 2 tanks, 50 gallons of fuel. He didn't want to put that in at the beginning of the summer because he will never use 50 gallons. And the other tanks are workable. So if somebody else were to own this boat, they could use the other tanks. So let's take a look at the engine while I'm here, talking about the engine. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. This pops off pretty readily. And we got a couple of bolts here to throw.
What kind of engine is it?
This is a Vetus.
Vetus?
A Vetus engine, which is basically, I believe, a marinized Mitsubishi, possibly. You just have to slide this out. It's pretty light. It looks heavy, but it's very light plywood. Look at that. Accessibility, what else can you ask for?
Yeah.
Now,
it's a little smaller than I would have thought. I don't know.
It's a, what is she, 22 horse, I think. But she's in nice condition. There's a secondary fuel filter on her right here.
Where's that?
Right down here.
Oh, yeah.
There is no primary. There's no Raycor fuel filter on it because he's really using pretty clean fuel out of his 5-gallon tank.
Oh, I see an oil filter there.
Yeah. Okay, right down there is the raw water intake and the raw water filter right there.
How do you like the belts?
Oh, perfect. Tight as can be. You know what we have? I have an aft cabin here.
Oh, wow.
Look at that.
Huh?
I'm going to go in here and you can follow me if you like. There's enough room in here to swing a small live cat.
Yep.
And you get some of the wiring for your gauges out in the cockpit. They're kind of exposed. And down below here is a really nice quarter berth. This is a pretty good size queen size double. I'm just going to give you a little idea on this one because, what do you think about that?
That's pretty big.
And you know what? I have my own opening port over here. And a great big, just open shelf that you can put blankets and pillows on and big bulky sweaters. And you see my nice opening port down there by my foot.
Yep.
And there's no signs of leakage or stains or abuse. And it's really a very comfortable space back in here. And when I sit up, I want you to notice I don't hit my head, do I? So Randy, I just got out of this berth and I noticed it felt a little soft, mainly because the hatch cover underneath was opened up. The owner was kind enough to show me one of the fuel tanks excuse me, this is a water tank. And if you look down here, you can see the stuffing box. So there we have quarter berth. And on this side, we have our nav station. Not the biggest. And there's got a little drawer for it. Uh-oh.
Oh boy.
Now this is not a flip up, but look at that. That's pretty tidy, isn't it?
This is bonus territory.
Yeah, bonus territory for sure. Look at that, even a little thing like that over there. Oh gosh, yeah.
I'm gonna guess you really like this little nav station. It's cozy. You've got a little access to the cockpit.
I can talk right to the cockpit, precisely. And this thing, this is the Garmin. This is on a convoluted, not a convoluted, articulated. This is on an articulated arm here that will swing around so that you can read your GPS and all that right down here. It's a nice hanging locker. And look at that, nice and clean. This boat is really pretty amazing, you know. It also has a swing out seat here. You know what I have else back here in my owner's stateroom with nav table?
No.
I have a head.
Oh.
Yeah, you know what kind of head it is?
I think I do.
Well, you want to come in?
Yeah.
Say please. There you go, that's polite. Okay.
Occupado?
Yeah. This is big. Look, my knees aren't bumping into anything. We have a molded in shower pan, hot water shower here. I think you just use the cold water again. And there's a shower curtain overhead. There's no water stains. It's like this boat has been sitting in a museum practically. Storage, you know, of course, behind and everything. We've got 110 outlets down here for your hair dryer, your electric cuticle machine, whatever. And
when was the last time you used that?
Oh dear, you didn't notice, huh? There is a holding tank on board, and it will can be sucked right out of the side here, right by a vent by the cockpit. Here's the. Now we're in. I've got total privacy, and this can be used from the forward stateroom or from the after stateroom. So that's the beauty of a 2-4. The owner did point out one thing I got to show you.
Okay.
He's a very nice gentleman. He's watched a lot of our episodes. He said there is a nice mirror. I did tell him.
Yeah.
I did tell him it wasn't quite big enough or low enough, but other than that,
Yeah.
we liked it.
Good placement. Yeah.
Good placement. If I'm standing, but then it sort of looks at it's got to be moved a little bit. Come on forward. I'll show you what else we got here. Now, at this point in most boats, we would be running into the head. But let's face it, one head's enough, and the head on this boat is in the best position it can be. So practically midship. So when the boat starts to do this, you're going to stay on the throne. Very important. Really important.
Yeah.
But I'm coming up here, and I'm going to show you what we have here. First of all, the captain, always likes to be able to get to his shoes, put them on and off. You know, get some fresh socks out of the drawers here. You know, whatever you want to put in there, diving gear. But look at the condition of the wood. This is the condition of the wood you would find this boat if you went to the boat show in 1973. These are not the most pointed berths we've ever seen, are they?
No.
And so,
And they're really long too. So.
They're really long and they're wide. And one thing that is interesting, how they do not have a provision for a filler piece. What do you think? Should we try that out? Think it's long
I think I'm
enough?
to see how long they are.
Okay, well I'll do that for you. If I can get my knees to work. Oh, thank you, Randy. You're so kind. So here we go. I don't want to bump my camera here. Oh. Whew. When I go to sleep at night these days, I turn on my Pandora, right? And I get a rainstorm. I put myself to sleep thinking I'm on a boat, on a mooring with it raining. Well, right now, I'm on a boat, on a dock, and it's raining. This is a winter.
All right, I'll leave you to your siesta.
Okay, Randy. Sayonara, buddy.
All right, we'll see ya.
Right when you get dry out there, okay?
All right.
Hey, Randy.
Hey!
We had a chance to take a look at a boat I've wanted to see for a long time. Designed by Bruce King, built by Ericson, designed really for cruising, but Bruce King would never design a slow boat. I was overwhelmed by the size and the capacity and the comfort level of the Cockpit. Below decks, that was the real sweetheart thing. 3 separate cabins on a 36-footer, including an owner's cabin with a navigation station. I like the boat altogether. Like Ericson, we were on the boat, she was floating. Guaranteed she floats. Bruce King Design, I'm going to give him a quick 10 for that. Bruce has designed some of the most beautiful major yachts in the world. And so we're up to 20. I'm giving it another 10 for the Cockpit, for 30. And I'm going up to 38 just for the overall condition of this particular boat. Needs very little work, and but like all boats, it does need a little work.
Nav station?
Oh yeah, the nav station. I'm going to give it another 2 for. Let's round it right up to 40, right?
All right.
She's a 40 for sure, and I'd love to go sailing in this boat. She would really be fun with a bunch of friends. So there you go, 40. An Ericson C36. C stands for cruising. You won't find these everywhere. One of a kind almost. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, please hit the subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when the next one comes out, please hit the alert bell. And that's not desperate at all. Randy, how would I ever find out what's coming up next?
You can follow us on Instagram here,
Yeah.
or Facebook here. We'll have little previews of what's coming up on our next episodes. A little bit early.
That's pretty cool. Preview. You all join me. I'm going to Instagram right now, and I'm going to find out what's coming up next week. Thank you very much.
You know, Instagram's not a place.